Okay, we're live. What's up, fellas?
Not much.
What did you do today, Rian Julian from California?
You put me through it. Shot a little bit, then went through the gauntlet.
Okay.
Sweat a little bit.
Yep.
Had some fun making some videos with Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, yeah. Be on the lookout. So,
I
Rian
think
Julian, what's that?
Dan tried to kill us, is what happened.
Are you talking about the workout we
Yeah.
just did?
Dan killed me.
Dan tried to kill us.
I feel like that was a nice total body little workout, little pump sesh.
Yep.
Go as hard as you want. You guys went hard. No one made you, right?
Sure.
I mean, I literally says purely optional how many reps you do. So it was good. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Yeah, so I had knee surgery January 22nd, 2025. Woke up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon with a brace around my knee in some recovery room with some male nurse talking to me about something. And I was like, where am I? And he's like, you just had knee surgery. And I was like, oh, yeah, we were doing that today. Fast forward, wheelchair ride to the car. Wife drove me home. And I sat in this chair for 3 days. Watch YouTube videos. And I was telling Tyler, like, all I typed in the YouTube search bar was, guess, elk hunting.
Yep.
And I just watched everybody's awesome, cinematic, raw, terrible, shitty, all the above. I watched a ton of content. I saw your elk hunt. I watched it from start to finish. Obviously, it was an Idaho elk hunt, so I pay a little more attention.
Yep.
And that was that.
That was purposeful.
You know, put it away as whatever back in my memory. And then Tyler and I were walking the floor at the Western Hunt Expo.
Yep.
And kind of bumped into you.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what was said, but take it from there. What happened there? You were like,
Yeah, you weren't moving as well there as you are now. You're going up mountains now and getting these workouts in. But you had recognized what was on my back. It was a GameStix.
That's what it was.
Yeah. And we just chopped it up. We exchanged information and invited me out here. So
I genuinely did.
yeah, it was that easy.
You took me up my offer.
Yeah. A little bit of a drive, but it was well worth it. Got to see my folks in Idaho. So
Love it.
yeah, spent some time there. And then I got to come over here and spend the whole day. So it's been awesome.
Yeah. So your folks live in,
Kuski.
where is that from Lewiston?
About an hour. It's about an hour and a half lower than Coeur d'Alene.
Yes.
So not Lewiston, Coeur d'Alene.
Okay.
South of Coeur d'Alene.
South of Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah.
Off 95?
South of Moscow?
Yep.
So it's between Moscow and Lewiston.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You didn't grow up there.
No.
Where'd you grow up?
Northern California.
Where?
Grass Valley, little town.
It's probably beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yep.
Okay. And then fast forward, you arrived here today. We were like, I was like, I have this idea. And you were like, okay, you don't know me. I don't know you yet.
Yeah.
Lots happening. As you can see, like I'm finishing up a YouTube video right when you walk in. Tyler's here. My wife comes in and
Yep.
Carhartts, overalls. She's going to go operate a mini excavator
X
all day because
Wild.
she's just a unicorn.
Yep.
And that's not nothing out of the ordinary for me. And
that was all day.
Yeah.
She was on that thing all day.
Yep.
Wild.
She's a doer.
Yeah.
She just makes stuff happen. And I'm like, hey, Ryan, I got this idea. I kind of pitched you. And when I told you, did you think it was like kind of weird or?
No, it was actually cool because it's the first time I've been able to break the hunt down to someone, you know, as we watched it. People watch it with me, but it's not the same. I'm breaking it down to like-minded elk hunters. And it was cool. The questions you have are way different than anything I've been asked. So
well, you had answers for all of them, which was great. So I think we're going to try putting that on ELKSHAPE's YouTube channel. I don't know how to make a thumbnail and a clickbait title, but shit, that's a good video, guys. So essentially, it's like a director's cut where like Tyler and I make a Ryan sandwich and we like armchair quarterback him on why did you do this? Why did you do that on his elk hunt? And he had a really successful elk hunt. He killed a really nice OTC bull, man, and earned it.
Yeah.
Backcountry, horses, wildfire, wolves. Be on the lookout. That's going to be a cool video.
5 years in the making.
5 years in the making.
Yeah.
And then it featured your product, which is what I saw.
Yeah.
So when I saw it in real life, I was like, oh, man, did you make a YouTube video elk hunting? You're like, yep. I'm like, watched it while I was laid up. That's cool.
Well, I'm glad I got some some watch time for you in there.
Watched it from start to finish. Didn't skip a single ad. So the when we did that, then we're like, okay, now what do we do? And I was like, well, Spokane Valley Archery's right there. I have not been able to shoot because of the knee surgery. I just got out of the brace. Let's head over.
Yep.
And not a soul was there but us. We had the range to ourselves, which is pretty cool. Tyler's pretty good at archery, eh?
Yeah, he showed me up today. That's for sure.
He can shoot.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you were always that good. I feel like you've gotten better and better. What's your secret to getting better over time?
Practice.
That's a lame answer. And you also can't say consistent practice. Like, what did you, was it your time with Joel Turner at the first ELKSHAPE camp? Was it filming yourself?
Okay. So I think I did a lesson or two with Josh and then Joel Turner and then just like picking apart stuff, slow-mo video of myself, watching other people, just like keep picking things apart and trying to improve.
You're using the Ibex hinge from Evolution Outdoors. Dale Perry, what up? How long you been with that release?
I saw it the first time at the Expo not this last one, but the one before, 2024. And then I got it shortly after that, and I've been using it since. Married
to it? Love it?
I wouldn't say I'm married to it. I'm really excited about his thumb button that he's just coming out with.
Which is a mirror image.
It's exactly the same, except for it's a thumb instead of a hinge.
It's not supposed to change your impact.
Correct. So like everything is exactly the same, except for it's a thumb button instead of a hinge.
Have you ever shot a hinge?
No.
Have you ever shot a thumb button?
Yeah.
Tension activated?
No.
Like a true back tension release?
I'm a little afraid.
Okay. The sear on that one's cool because you can get to the click.
You can get to
you
the
can
click
change your mind.
And then reset it without dropping your draw.
Yeah.
So that's the only one I know that can do that.
I don't know.
So you can get to full draw, get to the click, and then come off of it and then go back to the click. So like, you don't have to like most hinges get to the click. You basically if you come forward again, you don't know where you're at on your hinge. And it
won't click again.
It won't click again. It's just going to go off. If you like
probably when you're like about 3/4 way pulling.
Probably. It's just like you can't like reset your shot at all.
Yeah.
So you can't like if something happens and you got to reset, you can't reset with most hinges. So for a hunting hinge, I think that's
and it actually stays on the D loop, right?
Yeah. So
which
you
is
clip
nice.
it on the
if you're tree stand hunting.
Yeah.
I can clip or any like I always like to because a lot of times you'll clip it on range.
Yep.
And then go to draw.
Yep.
Or I'll have it if I'm in a ground blind, hook it on, whatever, in a tree stand, whatever. You can hook it on and it stays hooked. You don't have to. It's not an open jaw, so you don't have to.
What were
like
you
hook
running
it up
before
every
the
time.
Ibex?
I had a True Fire Seer.
Still ever use that?
No.
Okay.
I think I maybe gave it away.
Oh damn! So when are you getting your hands on that thumb barrel? Like, is that coming up soon?
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good video.
When he gets them, then he's gonna send me one.
Okay. Wow. And so you just picked up a new release this year. It's a Scott.
Yep.
Did you look at see what it was? It's an index.
Yep.
Is it a dual?
Yeah.
It's
dual
not
clamp.
a single. Okay.
Dual clamp. Works good. Good pull through now that we worked on that.
Yeah.
Went from the knock to it, two finger.
Yeah. How long did you use that for?
Years.
Did you kill stuff with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why did you leave it?
I like it on my wrist. I like it right there always. And I can pull that.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. and there's been a lot of times where I've been like, reaching for it or, misplacing it. And I'm like, oh man, I almost had to go to the truck and get my spare.
I got a wise choice in the frickin' some alfalfa field in Idaho. And it's like that they hadn't cut yet. And I was like, checking my pockets. I'm like, no. I had a backup one, obviously, but I was like, I hate when I go to the backup.
Yeah.
In my third release, yes, I have 3, is a punishment. It's a stand axis, so it's a thumb button open hook with a cord. So you have to, like, if you ever see me with that on, you'll be like, oh, he lost his primary, his secondary, and now he's in punishment.
Yeah.
But that's a good release. I've probably still killed more elk with a Scott index than I have with handhelds. Because I only switched to handhelds about 5 years ago.
Why'd you switch to handhelds? More consistent?
ABT means always be tinkering, not to tinker, but to like try to find a way to get better or what builds confidence. And I'll be honest, man, like my first time hunting with the Wise Choice was a bear hunt where I shot this bear on a spot and stock in Idaho Spring. 55, I remember it was a steep uphill 55, low light, black blob, buried the pin, hit it what I thought was pretty good. And it was crazy. I was kind of in a little like feeder creek. So it's pretty steep and brushed out, but some timber up above. Made that shot, watched the arrow dart him, and then he turns, runs down into the drainage, and then comes running right by me. And I like had enough time and wherewithal to knock another arrow, hook on, pull back. And when he got right to you, like between me and Tyler here, I was like, go off. And I did not know how to like do this. I had trained and practiced just like this opening of the hand and surprise release. And in the moment of truth, I would have liked to put another arrow in that bear.
Punch a trigger.
And I could not make it go off. And so the bear goes by and I'm like, and I look down and I'm like, if I don't find that bear, I'm going back to an index.
Yeah.
Because I needed that arrow to go off right then and there. And so that was kind of like do I really want to switch?
Right.
And the main reason to answer your question was, like I felt like I had a more consistent anchor.
Yeah.
And the way I do an index is probably wrong, but I would always pull back and anchor and then take my hand out. And I felt like from here to there, change things. And I felt like this was always like
consistent.
It stayed there.
Yeah.
Some people would argue it's not as consistent. But for me personally, the way I never pulled a release back index wise and got here and then hooked on. I always went, for some reason, closed fist and then stuck my index out.
Yeah. You don't do the Cam Hanes thumb behind the neck.
That works for him, but I don't think that works for me. No, I've never tried that. But yeah, so I do think the index is a great option for elk hunting. I could go back to it for sure. I shoot it well. I shoot it controlled. The way I shoot it, like I don't know when it's going off. But for now, I'm sticking with handheld, to be honest with you. I just feel like a more accurate inverted position works for me. Today, when you were talking about your shot execution, I asked you straight up, I was like, do you think you punched the trigger? And it wasn't a trick question. I just really want to know, like, I hadn't watched you really shoot. I was working that other camera. I wasn't paying attention. And you were like, no, I don't punch trigger. And I kind of believed you. Then I watched you and I was like, oh, you are a sneaky puncher. You look like there's no wapow.
Yeah.
And you climb in.
Yeah, I'm buried.
And it's buried. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So I had to watch. And at the very last second, it's like, that. I can see that move. And I was like, okay, yeah, you are. So then we had you pull back, take care of the aim. And then I was like, let me shoot your release. What was that like?
I mean, arrow broke way better. It was just a full follow through. And even if I wasn't right on, it just way more consistent.
It was a 68-yard caribou, and you still hit, I think, the bottom of the 10 or something. Yeah. It was a good shot. Yep. But yeah, it's kind of weird having someone else shoot your release for you. You don't know when it's going off.
Yeah. I do it to my son all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. And like I told you, I don't think we got this on video, but I was like, look, I'm not an archery coach, man. Like, I'm staying in my lane. Like, if you want to know how to squat clean or do some intervals, I can give you some advice. But when it comes to archery, I ain't a pro.
I'll take any criticism, anything.
Yeah. I would say, man, if you ever get in a slump or you feel like target panic's creeping in, then it'd be time to like enroll yourself in Joe Turner's Shot IQ online course. I think you could stick with the same release and just kind of.
I think I should. I'm there for you watching it and calling it out. Just that slight little bit. Most guys won't see it, so they're like, "Oh yeah, you have a great shot."
Yep.
But someone who can see that slight trigger pull, that sneaky one, that's worth a million things. So I'll probably tune into that.
That was me watching Joel teach hundreds and hundreds of guys at all the camps throughout the last 6 years and being coached by him.
Mm-hmm.
And then when all those campers go to bed, we're out shooting, getting coached by. I just have a lot of time. And like I was telling, I think I told you on the course over there, if I'm ever like, every time I shoot with Bodie and Joel, it's like only once or twice a year, they'll say one thing, like one little like line, one sentence that just resonates with me. And I kind of focus on that when they leave. And it's like my shooting just gets better. And it's just who you surround yourself with, right?
And there's no ego in it. You know,
No.
I love camaraderie and conversation and, hey, try this, fix this, work on this. If you can't take that, then shoot by yourself.
Well, obviously you can shoot. You killed that bull at a long distance.
83 yards, yeah.
With a heavy arrow.
Yeah, Valkyrie setup, 532, I think we're at.
And you can't even clear 90 yards, right?
No, I'm maxed out right there.
Yeah.
So
that's a...
Yep. Housing's in my fletching almost.
What gave you... How do you say this? I kind of want to say it mean. What gives you the right to shoot a wapiti at 83 yards?
Right? Yeah, no, it's a great question. Come September, things are tightened in, you know. 2 months out, even with my fitness, I just take those 2-3 months right before September and I just hone in. I try and stay consistent in fitness. I try and stay consistent in shooting and meal prepping and everything to a certain degree, but then you get that fire that comes close to September and everything just focuses in. My poor girlfriend and son suffer the most because I'm just, you know, tunnel visioned for 2 months straight.
I got you.
Shooting and lifting and running, suffering.
Well, then my next question is, what are you doing to make 83 yards a no-doubter? Like some guys, myself included, I don't know if I would take an 83-yard shot. I'd have to be really confident in my setup. And I probably would have had to have shot way further than 83 for 83 to feel like 43 or 83 to feel like 63. So what's your secret to doing that? Because in that open country, let's not kid ourselves. There in the video, there's no way you're getting closer than 83. You're out of cover.
Yeah.
The bull sees you, right?
Yep.
Or sees something.
Yeah, that bull, he knew I was there.
Yep.
Wasn't on high alert. Knew something was up, but I got down quick. Ranged him, got down quick, dialed in my slider, then drew, stood up, shot. But I think what I do most is I don't start at 20, 30, 40, 25. I start out deeper, and I start with my 70s, 73, 74, 81, and I play with that, and when I feel comfortable with that, much like golf, if you've ever golfed, if you work on your short game constantly, then you get to the driver and you're like, oh man, I'm in trouble. So I start out deep.
Go deep. 83 with that shot through the center of the heart.
Yeah, punch the heart. Yep.
What do you say?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty incredible. I definitely encourage everyone to either watch his film entirely without the armchair or go watch our armchair. I like the armchair one now because we got to really ask a lot of questions as, you know, they came into our brains. Tyler, for those that don't get a chance to see that, what was your favorite part of his film?
Well, I really like the fact that he had a crew with him, and like his buddy came up for a few days just to hang out and hunt with him for a few days before he went on his hunt. And like, to me, hunting isn't killing the animal, it's everything that leads up to it. And I thought he did a really good job of showing, like, he drove clear up from California, he stopped and got mules and other horses and met up with some buddies, and then a couple hours getting into where they were, and then camp. So I really like the whole process of the hunt, and it was all shown in that film versus just like the highlight reel of, oh, I killed this bull, yay, move on to the next one.
Yeah.
I personally, that's what I enjoy when I watch YouTube videos and stuff.
I think when I made it, you know, I wanted to capture that because I watched these hunts and I'm like, man, how did you get there? How did you do that? That you're coming from Ohio, you're coming from New Mexico, and you're traveling, whoever, you know, out of state hunts, and it's a challenge in itself just to get there. and then you got to hunt, and then you got to kill, and then you got to get it off and go home.
Yeah.
And so there's so many things to it. Not everyone gets to see that.
Like there was so much between for you between where you parked the truck and got to your base camp. Like there's so much work in just that that a lot of times it goes unnoticed, I guess, in a lot of these. And like just the amount of work the amount of work it takes to put yourself into a position to where you then were able to kill something. I find that enjoyable and like more relatable than the quick hunts that are like just show the highlights and then bull on the ground or whatever, and then you're moving on to the next thing. I know like a lot of people like that kind of stuff, but it to me it negates a lot of the work that it took to get there, and people don't understand how much work it took to get to that point to be able to do that.
No doubt. My favorite parts was that he kind of changed tactics daily. Like he was still hunting through timber in the morning with the thermals. Like he just had a good plan from base camp. Like he didn't camp on top of the elk. He was close, but his wind wasn't going to him. He was able to work through timber, still hunting. I love still hunting with a bow in timber in bedrooms. Like it's not for everybody, but I like it. That's why I asked you earlier today, have you ever shot an elk bedded? Because I have still hunting, and I've done the get to them, they're bedded, and wait for them to stand up, and I've had the wind screw me. Like I'm talking an hour and a half sit, just 30 yards away from a nice bull, and then the wind just hits your back and they just bolt.
Yeah.
So I've transitioned over to no patience. I'm getting an angle.
Yep.
But my point of that was like, I love that you did that. Then so you were doing some soft cow calls, some bugling, some location bugle. Next thing you know, you're like ambushing over a water hole, pinch point, and then next thing is you spot one and you send it. No doubt, like running out of daylight, I'm just gonna send it spot and stock. Like I love that because I think that's what it takes to have success on public land is kind of be a jack of all trades.
Yeah, boots off, sneaking in,
whatever it takes.
Suffering.
The only thing your video missed that ours had is where was all the 5 to 7 different hunters coming up the valley, bumping the elk around ping pong.
They hadn't got there yet.
Okay.
It's too early for them.
Okay.
And that smoke kept a lot of people home.
Yeah.
So
it looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
But it was cool that you have horses. Do you live on acreage?
Yeah, I have a few acres.
Okay.
And that makes it a lot better. I can go out there and work with my horse. And that's what the horse was there for. It was more preparation for a horse hunt. And I wanted to see how he did. And I can kind of, since I've hunted this area for a few years, 5 years, I think now, I had enough confidence that I could, pay attention to him while hunting and being successful. So, and he did phenomenal. No issue. Yep.
You did say today that you had, in my opinion, like the worst case scenario thing happened to you on a public land hunt in New Mexico.
Yeah.
You want to share the details behind that? I mean, I hate to bring it up, Ben, but like, I think it should be on people's radar. I know that it wasn't, and now it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've typically, if I'm in any area leaving my truck, I put sneaky trail cameras on video mode.
Yep.
And so, I mean, obviously it doesn't prevent people from committing crimes.
Yep.
But I get them MFers on video 4K. Yeah. So what happened?
I hunted this area for a few days, got in on one of the biggest bulls I probably ever will shoot in my life. 340, 350. And it was fun. It wasn't a rushed hunt. There was no one in there. And I think it was a local guy, maybe, not seeing my license plates, not really a fan of out-of-state hunters, maybe, I'm assuming. So I take my license
plates say California?
Yeah, they do.
Do you feel like that's the worst one to have?
Yeah, I take them off now at trailheads.
Okay.
I take them off.
Fair.
Because it's just not worth it. And I did put a trail camera on this last elk hunt.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't like living like that. I don't like constantly worried about someone, being reckless and getting in my stuff. But what happened was I parked my truck for an evening hunt, and I got in there and came out, and everything was gone. Windows bashed in, tires flat, toolbox pried open, all my hunting stuff from years of collecting gone. And I just had a little evening pack with me, so all my stuff gone.
Nice little evening jaunt. Left all your backcountry gear.
Yeah.
Which is expensive.
Yeah.
We all save our pennies to upgrade little bit at a time.
Yep.
Get a little light, a little better.
Bathroom bag.
Had to break your windows too, apparently, like all of them.
All of them. Yeah.
So they were making a statement.
Yeah. Yep.
And then so how did you even get home? Like your hunt's over, obviously, right?
Yeah, I made do. It extended my stay a little bit longer. I had to piece my truck back together, but it is what it is. I don't get salty over things like that. If someone, good on them. If they want to take my stuff and they need it that bad, that is what it is. Pretty unhappy to me.
That's a nice little Jesus attitude. I like that, man.
Yeah, I can't. I've lived with resentment for a long part of my life, and it only affects me. They're cashing out on all my stuff, so it is what it is.
Well said. Well, we don't tell that story to scare everybody, but it's just like, be on the, like, hey man, like you had your spidey senses go off. You saw a truck kind of following you a little bit weird.
Yep.
And you brushed it off.
Yep.
And I just listened to that and I was like, okay, trust your gut, spidey senses.
Yep.
Hey guys, interrupt this podcast to tell you about our partner, Black Rifle Coffee Company. This is a veteran-ran company. Evan Hafer established it in 2014. And if you're like me, coffee is life. Well, we have a discount code for you, ELKSHAPE20. Throw that in at your checkout. Maybe you want to get some new swag, some hats, RTDs, or of course, coffee. You can also check out their subscription where you can dictate the types of coffee and the cadence delivered to your doorstep. You'll never run out of coffee again. Black Rifle Coffee Company, discount code ELKSHAPE20, proud sponsor of ours. All right, guys, we're interrupting this podcast to tell you about Canvas Cutter. This is an awesome bedroll system, especially for the DIY mobile elk hunter. I've spent plenty of nights next to my truck sleeping in my Canvas Cutter. It has an awesome memory foam that is super comfortable. You can also pitch it up like a tent if you want. Deploys in seconds, and a lot of times I'll be changing my elk hunting location in the middle of the night. I don't feel like setting up a tent. Throw out your Canvas Cutter, get an awesome night's sleep. It is water resistant and it's lightweight and it's a no-brainer. You can take it with you on your hiking, camping, or if you're crashing at a buddy's place. It's just a nice seamless bedroll system. Discount code ELKSHAPE will take 10% off. Hey guys, we're going to interrupt the pod, tell you about crossover symmetry. A lot of you are archers, bow hunters. Maybe you're into fitness like me. I tell you what, the last thing I want to do as a bow hunter is be on the sidelines because of a shoulder injury. We as archers, especially, we hammer our shoulders, especially if you're shooting 50, 100 shots a day and you do it every day. A lot of repeat overuse injury could be problematic for you. So I suggest investing in crossover symmetry. These are bands, and there's a protocol included that will help activate your shoulders before you work out, as well as injury prevention protocols. I recommend doing crossover symmetry 2 to 3 days a week. Use it as a warm-up or a cool down, or if you have a 5-minute lunch break and you have time or you make time, do these protocols. Crossover symmetry discount code is ELKSHAPE. It'll take 10% off. Get the shoulder kit. You can also look at the halo bands for your hips, strengthening your hips and your shoulders. These protocols have saved my shoulders for wear and tear and all the overuse that I do. I strongly recommend it. I stand behind it, and I'd love to save you some money. So head over to Crossover Symmetry. Check it out. Discount code ELKSHAPE, 10% off. Back to the pod. I pack trail cameras.
Yeah.
It's at least you get a chance to get whoever on video.
Right.
But yeah, you can't. Thieves suck, man.
Yep.
They do.
Hopefully they use that stuff to kill a bull. I don't know.
When did you, okay, the other thing I was going to ask you was like, you're a grown-up blue-collar electrician, been an electrician since you were 20.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're in your 30s now?
Yeah, 34.
So you have a 14-year electrician career.
I do. Yeah.
How does a guy like you get time to elk hunt?
I work so much during the year. It pays dividends for sure. They recognize it, and you put in the work and the time. And when September comes around, or whatever month is you want to take off for vacation or whatever, it's warranted. So they see the hard work, and they appreciate it. So I put my advance notice in well into March, maybe. I'll let them know.
So this month you're gonna let them know?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just usually block out September and say, hey, September,
the whole month.
Yeah, pretty much. And if I could come back early, great.
And you don't get paid for a single day you miss. It's not like vacation pay. You're gonna backfill with extra hours to make the difference up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You must like elk hunting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you have a son, he's 11 or
12 in a week. Yeah.
12 in a week. What's his name?
Dane.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's Dane? What's he into, man?
He loves archery hunting. Shot his first turkey in California 2 years ago.
Shut up.
Yep.
Okay.
And so this year he can hunt archery, big game in California, ages 12.
What's he pulling weight back?
Not enough. We're getting there.
Okay.
He's a big boy.
Really?
Not for me. I don't know where it's
Who's
coming
his
from.
dad?
Wait.
Yeah, I always tell my dad, who's my real dad,
Yeah.
man?
Yeah. He's close to my height.
Is he?
Already. Yeah, he's a big kid.
At age 12.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, he's a lot like you. He's a big boy.
Dang.
Yeah.
And so he likes football?
He loves football, basketball, wrestling. He's in all of it.
3-sport athlete.
Yeah.
Likes
wrestling's
hunting with his dad.
Yep, he does. He shot his first deer last year in Idaho.
Yep.
So he was able to hunt Idaho. Shot his first deer with a rifle.
You're doing it right, man.
Yeah, I went with my dad, so it was 3 generations. It was cool.
Oh, so did you see the jealous and envy? Like that's so cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's special.
It was.
Huh.
He used my dad's 7 mag too. So,
Stop.
Yeah, he had his 270.
That's
and
really cool.
Yeah, he grabbed my dad's 7 mag, and both of them said it doesn't kick, and he shot it and it kicked.
Oh, I bet.
But he perfect shot, 120 yards, I think.
You didn't cry?
No, I didn't. My dad may have, but one of us had to be strong. So
I might have shed a tear for you guys. That's really emotional. That's pretty cool. I was there when Riley got his first bear at age 9. Really special day.
Yeah.
And then when he got his first elk with a bow by himself, I got the text, and like I was elk hunting for myself, and I just was like, I don't know if I've ever been more proud.
Yep.
Because you just did some man stuff there, son. Like a solo elk hunt like in Idaho. It's a cool feeling. How are you going to balance out your hunting and his hunting?
He works out so much because of sports. I think pretty soon, not this year because he's devoted to sports, but I wouldn't be surprised 13, 14 he's coming with.
Cool.
So, and that's the cool part. He loves it.
My son's not ate up with hunting yet, but I'm sure being patient about that. Married?
No, girlfriend.
How many elk seasons you put her through?
2.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
That's like my advice. I was like always like 2 years. So 2 elk seasons and she hasn't split.
No, loves it, wants to go.
Oh.
Has her hunter's license. She's shooting at Matthews. She's loving all of it.
This has potential.
And she loves wild game. I mean, that's all we eat, elk meat.
That's all. Dude, that's okay.
Yeah.
Check that box.
Sold.
I like her already. You were pretty fit out there in the old ELKSHAPE HQ. I watched you.
Trying.
You're moving well.
Trying.
You're a fit, dude. Do you have some sort of wrestling background or something?
Yeah.
What's your deal? You look like a guy not to be messed with.
My buddies all were into MMA since I was 18, 19.
Okay.
And they're big boys. They're Tyler 2.0s.
Okay.
And so just, training with them from 20 on and getting after it and going rounds and rounds and rounds.
So you have a MMA background.
Yeah.
What was your best strength in like a mixed martial arts? Was it jiu-jitsu? Was it wrestling? Was it striking?
It started at wrestling, but it switched to boxing.
Okay.
I still box this day.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
For more of like a conditioning piece?
Yep.
I really would like to try that.
It's phenomenal.
Not MMA, but
yeah.
boxing for cardio, essentially.
Yeah.
The footwork.
Right.
The
coordination.
the coordination, accuracy.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome. I wish I had a heavy bag. I would totally make you teach me some stuff. Maybe next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll do it. Okay. So what does a typical week look like for you, a guy who is killing it at work, blue collar, you're in charge of a bunch of other electricians and grunts, you're a journeyman, and you're a dad, and you got to shoot your bow. When the hell do you work out, and what do you do for workouts?
4 a.m., wide awake. And getting after it. I have a 2,400 square foot shop, so I have everything just dialed in.
What's everything?
Fitness. I got my bow station. I got my tools. Being an electrician means you got to do a lot of favors for a lot of friends.
Gotcha.
So,
isn't that the truth?
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't asked me yet. I'm looking around at things in here like, oh, what can I fix for them?
Yep.
So, but everything's well lit. So,
but
I'm up at 4:15.
Okay.
In the shop training, and then
you work out by yourself.
Yeah.
Do you push it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your advice for those that work out by themselves that maybe struggle with pushing themselves?
Go elk hunting. Go elk hunt. Go pack in, and you'll never ever look back. You'll just never want to feel incapable, and that's how I feel when I'm up on there. And I know I haven't pushed myself. I mean, you can tell. So
well said. And it's just a variety of total body workouts, or
little knockoff from your workouts. You know, I can't get down like you constantly. You do it year round. I can't do it. So I saved that for right before September.
But you're doing like just general fitness year round.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you think?
Lots of core.
Do you feel like you're pretty healthy and fit and mobile and injury resistant?
Feel great. Besides this last elk hunt, I told you my knee. I don't know what it was, but it was a combination of, you know, I had a little hiccup with my horse, and then my knee came from nowhere. I've never had a knee issue. And
has it bothered you since?
No.
And it was mainly the downhills?
Downhills.
So it was definitely some patellar tendon, probably.
Yeah, I hiked in, I packed in, and everyone else rode. I led my horse in. And so I had 80 pounds on my back, and I was keeping up with the horses, pushing myself.
Ooh, that's not smart.
It was
First
a grind.
off, why aren't the horses carrying your pack?
It was, you know, I just wanted to do it. I was mentally, you know, I put myself in the position to do it. So
the way I go to September is I'm thinking, how can I hunt as hard September 30th as I do August 30th? And so, like, if I have any opportunity to have a horse take a backpack, sign me up.
Yeah.
Or if I have no shame in asking Tyler for help packing meat. Actually, I do have a little bit. I have a little bit of shame, don't I?
Yeah.
Like, especially if you have a tag in your pocket, then I have like shame. But like, I'm all about efficiency because I usually have a couple tags in my pocket. But you just were like, I want to bite this off in the beginning.
Yeah. And I didn't know camera stuff weighed a ton.
Yeah.
A ton. And when I saw it, you know, we picked him up in Twin Falls at the airport. I saw what he had to bring up the mountain. I'm like, uh-oh. You know, I didn't realize batteries and cameras and lenses and lights and cords and laptops. So, you know, it kind of, we switched a little bit of direction right there. And
was that your first time being filmed?
Ever.
What did you think about it? Be honest.
I didn't like it.
Good. I hate it.
Didn't like
Keep going.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
How loud was your cameraman on stepping on stuff?
You know what? He was pretty good. He's a whitetail hunter.
Okay,
so
that helps.
He knows. And I dragged him all around. And I told him, you know, hey, I gave him a little insight to your stuff. And I said, follow this guy. You're going to come out and elk hunt with me. You want to do it. I'm paying you handsomely. Get in shape. And he did. He took it serious enough to where he wasn't carrying weight around, but he was able to keep up.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
Cameramen are a blessing and a curse. Honestly, at the end of the day, if they get the footage, it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
If they don't get the footage and they're a pain in the ass, it's like extra smell, extra sound.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a bad attitude or they miss. They're just maybe not into it. You know, like it could be a lot of things, but
I made an elk hunter of him.
That's cool. He's hooked.
He's in, hooked.
That's kind of how like this one guy, Hunter McWaters, he had never been on an elk hunt before. He's filming in New Mexico. Not a great hunt, not a great unit. Where we ran into that jerk trying to kick us out of public land. That was a great video, but like he had never experienced it. And we really got one day at the very, very end, last day of the season, where like he got to experience bugling and me calling this bull in who had cows and like the whole thing. And I think right after that, he's like, yeah, I'm not a cameraman anymore. I'm going to start my own TV show and hire cameramen. And he's killed some elk now. And I'm just like, I get it, dude. Like you made him an elk hunter.
Yeah. I was impressed by him.
Yeah. Like, the guy looked like he was in shape.
Yeah,
for sure.
And he's younger.
Yeah.
He's ready. So.
That's interesting. Let's talk about your product because we do got to go. Here's the deal. There's going to be a video on Tyler's channel, ELKSHAPE Gear, breaking down all the things. So we don't have to do that. But like, why on earth would you try to develop a product in the outdoor space?
You know, I think it's a combination of things. I'm the kind of guy, even, you know, at work or with my son, relationship, whatever it is, if I see a problem, I want to fix it. I want to figure it out. Yeah. Because I like to do things the right way, you know, and I like to do things the efficient way. And for the longest time, I was just beating myself over and over again, packing meat out, you know, every step. I'm just like, man, this is heavy. Either I'm packing someone else's elk out or deer out or whatever it is. And I'm just thinking, you know, these guys are deboning for a reason because they don't want to pack the weight. Maybe they're doing it a lot. Maybe they can't pack it in, pack it out. I don't know. But there is a reason for it. And I just wanted to combine the two. Why are we packing bone out?
Yeah.
We're not going to eat the bone. So I put 2 and 2 together and I said, what if I have everything the bone offers, but no weight?
Yeah.
And so it kind of just clicked and I went over prototype and like not making it work and making it harder until I came out with this last version. And that was the first time that one was used on an elk. I'd used them on deer and pig and whatnot. And it was just, all the, stars aligned and it was lights out. It worked so well. And I said, I'm never not going to use it unless I'm close to a truck or if it's cold, like Tyler and I talked about, if I can get out with the bone and get that meat back to my truck and to a primed cooler that's already chilled, good on me. Great. But if I can't, that bone's coming out.
Yeah. I would say, Tyler.
Yes.
You didn't invent this.
Nope.
You're not selling them. You're an unsponsored and unbiased good human being who, I genuinely mean that. You're just one of the best humans I've ever met, straight up.
Thanks.
So what did you think of it?
I think it's cool. It's got its place. Like you said, late season, close to the truck. Don't want to take the time to debone it. You don't really need to because it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
Maybe not the place, but early season, especially first part of September, or just warm weather. Because sometimes October 10th is 80 degrees.
It was for me this year.
Right.
Yep.
So warm temps, farther from the truck, you're going to save a ton of weight, not packing bones, and then it keeps the structure so you're not packing that. I hate that blob of meat in the bottom of my bag, packing it out. It's just uncomfortable and it doesn't cool off very well. All the bad things. And this kind of fixes all that. So you can hang it up. It makes it super easy to hang the corners. You don't have to tie knots. And so it makes it more efficient, and it's going to make it easier to pack that meat out. And you're still going to pack, the meat. It's still heavy, but it eliminates the part that you're not going to consume when you get back to the truck anyway. So you don't need to, unless you're making bone broth, which most people aren't.
Yeah.
You're not going to pack out the bones.
No.
And most people, when you get that far back, you're going to debone it anyway. Yeah. And so this fixes that. And it helps with cooling it down and all of that stuff.
Game bag on off, easy.
Yeah.
If you're deboning and you have your meat in a game bag, you're getting your hands in there and taking it out. It's just the nature of the beast. If you want to clean it up, make sure it's fine. If you piece it off that bone, you got to rotate that meat, let the center get out and the inside get in, and rotate it constantly. This just allows you to take that game bag off. It's nice and loose, clean it up, put it back on, let it sit. So
how many times do you have to sew, for lack of a better term, through the meat to make it stay?
I pin it in twice, and that's it.
Okay.
And it's worked lights
out. And then
out.
how is it more like a Swiss Army knife, like other purposes besides the event that you happen to kill an elk, which is all our goal?
Yeah.
And then it happens to be really hot and you're a long ways from the truck and you decide, which I think everybody should potentially take the bone off if you got a long ways to go. Like Joel Turner never carries bone out. And I almost always carry a bone out just so I can get it to hang longer.
Yeah. How do you fit them in your coolers? You have a big cooler?
I never fit them in my coolers.
Yeah.
Like I do have a big cooler and it holds 2 hindquarters.
Yeah.
And then it's full.
And that's what I noticed too with this. I mean,
what am I going to carry? 4 giant coolers or even 2?
Right.
No. I have this game bag from Baku e-bike company. They made like this like big giant, like think of it like a Yeti
soft bag
type thing, but it's huge.
Yeah.
But it's only good for like transport. So like once I get it to the truck, I can throw it in that.
Yeah.
First gas station, throw ice in.
Yep.
But then I got like a running clock. I got 24 hours to get it to a butcher. I would prefer like to butcher myself. Last year, I don't even want to do this. The New Mexico Bowl I took to Myers Game Meat because I wanted to keep elk hunting. That's in Utah. So I went to New Mexico, drove that bull, stopped in Salt Lake, $600 and something. That includes shipping to my house. And they age it for 14 days. I like them.
Yeah.
Then I went to Idaho, killed that bull, drove down to Sousa Game Meats. I think it was $500-600. I think it's $500-600. That guy's awesome, by the way. If Rigby, Idaho, if you're ever near there, go to him. Awesome, dude. And then I went to Utah, killed a bull. That meat went to this place just in Wyoming, out of Evanston. I can't remember their name. $800. And then the company that delivered it, I have this on video. $800. Were you here that day?
No.
$800 to deliver my meat from Wyoming. And I about lost it.
That's an
I was
expensive
like,
elk.
holy
Yeah.
shit. If I would have known that, I would have brought this meat home. And then my last bull was a Montana bull. And then I took it to my buddy Cutright here. And I don't know his rates, but I paid him $500. And he did a great job. So I don't know what the math is. I'm not going to add all that up. But holy shit,
Yeah.
I cannot afford
Yeah.
to do that. Like, I need to cut, and I've always cut my own meat up. You know
and
what
you
I
can
mean?
invest that money into your own setup too. You know, the grinder, the slicer, whatever you might want
Which
to
I
get.
am. I'm deeply invested. I used to have a cooler with a cool bot. Now I have the wild meat gear.
Oh, yeah.
With Tyler's AC unit. We're going to keep it here, and we're just sharing, like, if he gets something down and needs it, we're going to set up in the shop.
Yeah.
You got to set it up indoors, not outdoors. And it keeps the temperature under 40 degrees. And I prefer to age my meat for literally 14 days is kind of like the sweet spot for me. Have you aged your meat ever?
Yeah. I listened to this podcast a while back about aging meat, and for like cattle, 12 days is the preferred time frame.
Okay.
12 to 14 days.
Yep.
So I try to get to that, and I looked into, hey, if I debone it, can I still age it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Meat still goes through rigor mortis if you debone it. You can still age it. You have all the benefits still, because that was a big factor for me. You know, am I going to lose things because I'm losing that weight? You know, am I trading off?
And you're always going to lose some meat by aging. People need to understand that.
Yeah, trim it off.
Like, you're going to lose trim, and you're not going to get as much meat.
I think you will lose a little bit more meat bone out.
Right.
Because
absolutely
the air gets into that.
Yep.
All the stuff. And
a little more dry spots.
A little more dry spots. Yeah. But the trade, it's not that much meat, and you're going to clean up a lot of that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you won't lose a whole quarter.
Right.
You know.
So you made this product, like we said, Army Swiss knife. So what else do you use your GameStix for?
So right now we're coming out with a tent post. So it's kind of a dual deal. It's a tent post and a gear post for inside your tent. So you can hang all your stuff in that tent. You can clean your floor print up, your shoes if they're wet, your jacket. I was telling,
it's a light.
And there's a light in there, an LED light. So you'd plug it in right.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah,
just seriously
lights up your whole tent. And it doesn't draw anything.
Did you show that on the video today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What we didn't tell you too, I told Tyler on the video earlier, the couplings are going to be glow in the dark.
Yes.
So at night when you wake up, it's pitch black.
Yeah.
You're fumbling around.
Yes.
You need a sense of direction. You'll see a coupling and be like, hey, that's where my stuff is. That's where my light is.
Okay.
So it's a cool feature.
People want to know, are you making it here in the States?
Assembling it here in the States. Manufacturing is expensive. It is.
Did Trump's tariffs go through today?
I got pre-Trump tariffs, so I don't know.
Smart. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So you're assembling here. Is it just you?
Just me. Yeah.
That's probably smart. Website?
Yeah. www.GameSticksOutdoors with an X.
GameStix
X
baby. Outdoors.
Yep.
And .com.
That's IG and the YouTube channel.
Cool. How many subs you got on the YouTube channel?
Maybe 120.
Let's get that up.
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe you'll come out another time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe do some, maybe like a turkey bear hunt or something.
Yeah, would love it.
What kind of turkeys do you have in California?
Rios.
You got Rios.
Yeah.
We got mainly Merriams on this side of the state.
I think we have both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then for everything else. We got a hybrid deer. It's like a mix between a mule deer and a blacktail.
Yeah, like a bench leg.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's cool.
Do you have those wild pigs, or is that a different part of California?
Yeah, they're all over now. I mean,
they're up there where you're at?
Yeah, I mean, so right now I'm down towards the Bay Area working, and they're everywhere there.
Really?
They're tearing up golf courses and lawns, and it's wild.
What about California Thule elk? Like, how many points do you have for that?
Everywhere. Yeah, I see them every morning on my way to work. I have 14.
Is that like, are you in the game yet, or is it like a dream?
But I pulled a 2023 bull tag, Northern California, Del Norte County, as far left as you can go in California on the coast. Shot an ice bull out of their share program. So I got lucky enough to get that.
So was that a Rosie?
Yeah, Roosevelt.
Was that an incredible experience?
Yeah, it was
Were
amazing.
they ripping?
Oh my gosh. Called him into 12 yards, bugling his head off.
Is that on your YouTube channel?
No, didn't film it.
Sometimes you got to just not film.
Yeah.
Which
you know, and I'm not good at it. You know, there's things I'm good at, and filming, it's a struggle for me, you know. Watching you guys here in the laboratory.
Yeah, what'd you think of today, man?
Yeah, it's great.
Like, our pace is pretty ridiculous.
Firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
And I love it. Everyone knows their place. Everyone knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's organized chaos, but it's awesome.
Well, when are you heading home?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
It's a long drive.
Are you staying the night with your folks, or?
No, I'll make it a little ways through Washington, and then make the last poke. Maybe stop in at work. It's along the way, and then go home.
Okay.
I think my son's got a game tomorrow night, so I'll try and make that, surprise him.
So do you work far from your home?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay.
Yep.
Single dad.
Yep.
Elk hunter.
Yep.
Got a girlfriend that likes to bow hunt.
Loves it. Yeah.
This is cool. Came out with a cool product.
Yeah.
It's really hard to explain what it is here on this podcast, so I think you guys should just go check it out, or check out the video on ELKSHAPE gear.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want people to watch your elk hunt or watch our director's cut. I think that could be really good educational elk hunting information.
Yeah.
I know it is.
Yeah.
I know we covered some stuff today that people aren't going to know, especially new elk hunters. You should check that video out. Instagram. What else? Where else should people find you? Just website, Instagram, YouTube?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you for coming all the way up here.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Tyler. I
You bet.
appreciate it, you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for picking me out at the expo. That was cool.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
And you're moving better now. That's good news.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
It's like day
that's
to day,
wild.
man.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah, I'm excited. Guys, this is my friend Rian from California. Check it out, the GameStixOutdoors.com. Separations in the preparation. Catch you on the next one.